All right, hello everybody. It's wrestling with the Willies again
La, la, la.
today. I know every time, like whenever I started,
La, la,
it's
la, la.
like that, like I always get tongue tied a little bit. But it's wrestling with Willies, and we're joined again today with Jeff, our cousin Jeff, and it's Josh and Jeremy, like that usually do almost every single, pretty much every episode. I
We
think we're,
do not
yeah,
pretty much, it's every episode.
yeah,
Every episode.
yeah, whatever. I mean, whatever. But what's it called? Today we're finally
Whatever.
caught up where we're doing Crown Jewel 2025, and it didn't take us that long to record it either. And
No, it's
because it
literally
just
it
happened
happened.
on Saturday
Yeah.
and it's Thursday. So like it's Paul, as of doing the podcast,
Yeah, we'll be
it'll probably be
releasing it
out like
in the
yeah.
morning.
Yeah. So, what's it called? So, yeah, Jeff joined us while we were watching it, so he decided to join us again too for this one. If anybody watched the podcast or even listened to the podcast where we did the predictions, we're very close
Pretty much spot
to
on.
all
Yeah.
the only thing that we were wrong about, which we also I think we kind of mentioned, was the placing of the Stephanie Vacquer match, the women's titles, Crown Jewel championship match, and the tag team, the women's tag team match,
Yeah, they flipped
where
them
they
around.
flipped them around, which I think
Honestly,
we might have mentioned at the time that
we
there was
called that, and we
possibility.
also, I think,
Please.
and we'll get to it as we go, but I think we called even the length of the match. I'd have to look back at what our prediction was
Yes,
as
you
far as
did.
the shortest one, but I think we said the Stephanie Vacquer match would be the shortest one, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah,
Yes, you did. You did.
So, but
yeah.
yeah, I
With
mean,
with that out
so
of the way, to begin, the Australian street fight with Bronson and Roman Reigns. So, I mean, this was an okay match. It took for 21 minutes. It felt, I don't know, a bit longer than that, but it's probably because it always takes like 15 minutes for Roman to get to the ring. But like, I think pretty
this
much in the
wasn't nowhere near,
predictions we
Josh, though,
called
as long as the last
Clash
one
in
was.
Paris. Yeah,
Because Clash in
because it was
Paris,
an
it was
hour for that
50
one.
some odd minutes before that first match got over with. This one,
Yeah.
it was a 21-minute match, but it didn't take as long. I think it was like 30 some odd minutes by the time they got through everything before match number
Yeah.
2.
Yeah,
I
and
think
pretty much we called it in the predictions where Bronson Reed was going to beat him because, of course he had to one up him, especially with what they're doing with the fishing. So you kind of had a feeling, like we even called it like Jimmy and Jay and like even Brock Breaker would show up in it. The only difference was that Seth didn't show up, which
well, we
that
knew that
kind
because
of
he had a match later.
yeah.
We talked about that. But, I mean, we'll talk about it later, but that's the only other part I think that
Yeah.
didn't go per
And
what
then
we said.
one thing that was funny was that they brought out cricket bats, of course they did, and they also brought out I forgot what they called the balls that they flung out to the crowd. Like,
The rugby balls? The rugby
yeah,
footballs? Yeah, I
was
don't
it
know what they're
rugby balls?
called, but
Yeah,
yeah, there
like,
was
and
rugby
Roman
footballs.
Roman couldn't throw them for shit. That's what we talked about when we were watching
Yeah,
it.
he hit Bronson Reed one time, I think, and one time he threw it at the ground where it hit the steps, and then the
Yeah,
second time he tried to throw it through, and he was throwing it at Paul Heyman actually, but
yeah,
he hit the ropes the second time when he tried to throw so he wasn't doing very well with
yeah,
His aim sucks.
yeah, it was,
yeah.
but I can
So,
imagine they're not the same. I guess they're just called rugby balls. They're
yeah.
elongated
Okay.
ellipsoidal balls, but they're just called a rugby ball. So,
Okay, whatever. So, what's it called? So, the match
but
was
they're not
okay, and then they had
football
Jimmy and
shaped.
Jay come out at one point, even though the Roman said he didn't want them to intervene. They intervened
But she
anyway,
came out to assist,
and then
which we all
eventually
know. Yeah.
cost him the match. And then he
Anytime you're
said, "I don't want to see you till Christmas." So
Which
he
is
might
funny
not be at
because
War
Survivor
Games.
Series is in November. So
Yeah, yeah.
we'll see how it goes.
So it might explain that
Every
Roman might
time
not show up at War Games, but I don't know. He's probably just saying, "I don't wanna do anything with you for a couple of months or be around you."
anytime a
So,
face comes in and says, "Don't help me," it never ends well.
yeah. Well, that's why because they always end up intervening anyway. It's not like you didn't
And it
expect
always
that Braun wasn't gonna get
sabotages.
intervened. It was a street fight. Every time whenever there's a street fight or a no DQ match or something, I've
Well,
always
that's
seen that
why we
they
called that this would start the PLE because of Seth being in the main event.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we figured they'd have to, like, intervene in this match and possibly later, but we'll get to it later, but now we see why it didn't happen the way we thought it would based
Yep.
on what happened, I guess. But the interesting part anyways, nothing for me, the match, there was nothing special in the match because it was a we talk about it all the time. It was a typical Roman Reigns match
Yep.
where
Yeah.
they typically go the same way all the time, and in this one, it was a gimmick match, so you knew they would involve the
Yeah.
stuff around the ring, and then
There
people
was
would
the
intervene.
barricade spots and there was table
The
spots and
the
pretty
cool
much
part
everything.
about what Roman has been doing, and he's been doing this for a while, though, and I think I've mentioned it a few times, is his interaction with the crowd has gotten way better,
Yeah.
and the way he interacts even I think it honestly helped, in the COVID era with him because they changed the way like, if anybody remembers before COVID, you never heard what was said in the ring, and because there was nobody in the crowd during COVID, people heard what they were saying in the ring more often, and they have moved even AEW did it. They've moved toward where you're hearing talking in the ring more often,
Yeah.
and, like, at the end of this match, that whole interaction between the 3 of them,
Yep.
back
And
in the
then
past, you would have never
yeah.
heard that. Like, it
Yeah.
literally would have been something they did backstage where they were fighting and
Yeah.
bickering
Yeah, they would
behind
have done a backstage thing where they
not
would
out
yeah.
in the ring, and now they're doing that, which I like, and the way Roman's doing it and has been, I've enjoyed with him, and
Yeah.
so outside of the ring, I've gotten his character a lot more. His matches always go the same though. So,
Yeah.
Well, I think
but
that's why they're doing it though, why he's involving more vocal interaction is because he's just stagnant. Like once he has a match, it's expected. I mean,
well,
I've watching Roman Reigns for the last few years, it's all the same.
it's hard with him being part-time too to actually, like, get
Build
continuity with
his
him.
yeah.
So it's like
Yeah.
when you're only wrestling once every 3 months,
Yeah.
Yeah.
kinda like Brock Lesnar, they're the same exact they
Yeah.
have pretty much he has the Brock Lesnar schedule now,
Yeah. Yeah.
so he only works
And
at
getting a
major
shit ton of
events.
money too, but
And well, that's what I mean. So you can't get continuity even wrestling the way he does for himself. And you see the
right.
same thing with John Cena kind of, even though he's been constantly wrestling this year, you're still seeing like his
Yeah,
matches are going through the motions.
mhm.
Except this one, I think because
This
of who he was
yeah.
wrestling, and we'll
Yeah.
talk about that when we get to the match, that this match looked way better than
Yeah.
others because of
And
who he was in the ring with.
it's mostly because like okay, so pretty much uh I don't have anything else to add on the on
Do
Bronson
you
Reed
have anything,
match.
Jeff?
No.
Anything else?
No.
So then there was the Crown Jewel Championship match between Stephanie Vacquer and Tiffany Stratton. And, like I was seeing people talking about this match, and they were saying that they didn't really do a whole lot in this match, and
Well,
they
they
thought
couldn't
that
have
it
with
was
it only being
okay.
10 minutes.
Well, I
I mean,
mean, they
the
did a lot in 10 minutes, and I'm definitely getting to be more of a fan, more over with Stephanie Vacquer lately since
well, I'm a
see
huge fan of hers.
there's like no bad matches that she's done. Like, some people were saying that this was kinda like a typical match and it wasn't crazy. Well, it was 10 minutes.
Now,
They could
considering
only
how many recently Tiffany Stratton has had a lot of scrutiny in the matches she's been in,
yeah,
you can't say that this one was one of those because
yeah.
she didn't really botch. There wasn't a botch in this match that I remember.
No.
they pulled
Like,
off their
they
normal spots.
yeah, and
Well, when she was going for there was a couple moves where I noticed where he was struggling to lift her.
yeah, but that's
But I
just like
wouldn't say
But
that's a botch though. That's like
yeah.
just
Botching is like
it could have
fucking
been a
up moves
botch.
and
She
shit.
followed through. She
it
followed
could have
through, but
been
I
if she
think
messed it up. That's kind of where I
yeah,
was saying was that you've seen them, and I literally have
yeah.
seen where they've fucked
There's
them
some
up, and
been
a
some
lot of the
botches.
time
Yeah,
it's Nia Jax that's been involved in all the
yeah,
matches where there's one
Yeah.
that happens.
generally. Either
And
that or Kyrie Sane,
or
really,
Kyrie, yeah, I
lately.
was just gonna say because when we talk about that match, we'll talk about what happened prior to this pay-per-view too.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
because I
it's
mentioned it during the match was that I was you know, you're concerned because they do, well, especially when they started doing the Japanese strong style stuff. But
yeah.
Mhm.
but anyways,
Yeah,
yeah,
so pretty much like we called that
yeah.
Stephanie
So
was gonna win, and
yeah,
I mostly because it's like Tiffany Stratton's already been like a champ for
well, she was
9
the Crown
months,
Jewel champ last year, wasn't she? Because wasn't that the whole thing was
maybe.
that I'm pretty sure
Shit,
like even Seth was the crown or Cody was Crown Jewel
Cody
champ
was
last
the
year.
first one, but I thought it was like Nia Jax or something. Maybe it was Tiffany Stratton. Maybe
I thought that was what they
That's what they
I'm
said, I
looking it up
thought.
right now. I mean, it would make sense even more if that was the case, like Liv Morgan won the first one. That's what it
okay.
was. That's
That
why I couldn't remember who won the first one. So yeah, so I think
I
she was
know, but I
probably
know
in
Cody
it though.
had the in the men's.
Yeah,
Cody had won the first one. But
but
yeah, I
still,
couldn't
I
remember if it
mean,
was
Tiffany
Tiffany Stratton or
Stratton
not. But
really didn't need it though. So I mean, like it seems like Stephanie they're putting a rocket to her because they
yeah,
even mentioned how she was the first one to win
4
4
titles.
titles
Yeah.
in 1 year,
Yeah,
which
she won the
I think
NXT
they
belt, the North American title, the World Championship, and now Crown Jewel Championship all this year,
yeah,
which is
yeah,
kinda
and
crazy considering
she'll
it's
probably get
October.
How
more
quick
too,
it is
probably.
already. I mean, it's
Yeah.
not even that year's end yet. I
But
mean,
it's
Well,
nothing
shit
compared to
well,
Mercedes in
should she
AEW. She's got
yeah.
10, I think
Well, I
she's
mean,
got 10 in the last year and a half.
Stephanie, I think, got signed in, like,
man,
February
ese
or
coche está
something
peor.
too. February or March or something. Yeah, it
But
was
yeah, she
like
did her Devil's Kiss, which, we had to
and she
rewind it
fought it
because our
off a
brother
couple of
wanted to see
times.
it.
5 times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
5 times. But I was not complaining. I am like Jerry the King Lawler in that
He's
aspect.
like,
I
"It's
needed
the
to see it.
puppies, but it's not the
It's
puppies, it's the other stuff."
it's the kitties. It's the kitties. Yeah.
But yeah, this was a good match.
Just
It wasn't, like, great because, again, you can't do
ooh,
a lot in 10
Yeah.
minutes. I mean, that's how long
I
this
mean,
match was, so I
I
can kinda
honestly
see
think it's my second favorite off of the
well, I
whole
can kinda
card,
see
though.
where people complained that
it's
it
my
wasn't
favorite
long enough.
finisher.
I mean,
Yeah.
when it's 10 minutes, and especially when Stephanie and Tiffany, for that matter, are not bad wrestlers.
Yeah.
See, it's like, you get it when Brock Lesnar's in a match because we complain about he needs to do more cardio. We talk about it all the time. Like, he'll come in the match and 2 minutes in, he'll be beat red
Yeah.
and sweating his ass off. It's like he almost looked as bad the last time with Cena, and we didn't bring it up then, or I didn't, was that he looked almost I brought it up during the PLE, but that he looked almost as bad as Ultimate Warrior did the night before he died when he was
He
on Raw.
died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
And
were talking
so
about that, yeah.
yeah, as I didn't bring it up during the last podcast though when we were talking about WrestlePalooza, or the one.
That was also one that you forgot to mention too, or we forgot to mention on the AEW one, if anybody didn't watch the AEW one. We forgot to talk about how Jurassic Express
Yeah,
showed up again.
yeah, I think
So, I mean
I mentioned that to you after the
yeah,
fact was
yeah,
that
it was the
I was like,
most
"Oh shit, we forgot to bring that up."
I think yeah, like, so, like, he noticed it right after we got done doing the episode, I think. He was like, "Oh, shit."
Yeah, I was
So,
like,
I
"Oh fuck,
figured I'd
the
mention it
one big
now.
return during that because I think we mentioned
Pretty
Beth
much,
Phoenix showing up,
yeah.
but we
Yeah,
didn't
and that was the
mention
other one that we
Jack
forgot, yeah.
Perry coming back and then Luchasaurus coming, or Kill Switch taking his belt off, becoming Luchasaurus again, and then they
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah,
reunited
yeah.
with the Jurassic Express music.
Yeah,
But
so
Yeah, so
So yeah, pretty much the match of the night, in my
But I
opinion,
mean,
probably
hasn't
is
Brock
John
always
Cena
had?
versus AJ Styles, though.
I mean,
I'm just
hasn't
saying.
Brock always had an issue with being gassed out quick though? I mean,
for the
that's kind of
last
been,
for the last while, I would say, yeah, because
yeah,
we talk about it every time he wrestled, like that he needs to do more cardio.
right.
Yeah.
But
Especially you could tell he's not a leg guy. His legs aren't that big compared to like other guys.
I'm
His
waiting for the
legs
day
are
that
like
it's another Sid Vicious where he jumps off a rope and he snaps the suckers.
I don't
hey,
think so though. He's got so big boned. That dude is huge. I mean, I don't think he'll ever have an issue like that. It's going to be more heart related with
well, I
him.
mean,
Like
if
And
you
definitely
do
heart
what Sid
he's
related.
doing all
Vicious
the
did,
steroids and
though,
shit. I mean,
I mean,
looking at
Sid
how
Vicious,
jacked he is right now, he's
yeah.
definitely doing
He's back
something.
on the juice.
Well,
He's on the juice
what's it called?
You don't
Like
get older and
speaking,
get bigger. It's the same thing with The Rock.
with The Rock.
The
Yeah,
Rock The Rock and Dave Bautista, if you look at any of them, they're like, "We've just lost weight." No, you quit working out. You quit
yeah,
taking the steroids. That's
yeah,
how you lose weight that fast. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah,
you don't go from being fucking ginormous to being
yeah.
smaller than me. I mean, it's
yeah,
like if you look at Dave
You know,
Bautista and The
that
Rock, they're
that wants to
tiny
bring
now.
me. I want to bring back up on a subject outside of that. I was watching some cuts of Batista and Goldberg. You know, at one point in time, they were the same size. You know, and I don't know if Goldberg was ever as hardcore on the enhancement drugs as the other wrestlers.
Well, I don't think he really was. If you look at him, he never got
He
huge.
is
nah.
no.
Like,
I mean,
He's
you look
always
back at his
been pretty
college
much
time,
about the same size.
he's
yeah,
always
he's
been
not.
the same damn
Yeah,
size.
and they might be a little bit like kind of, but you look at The Rock and you look at how much The Rock was eating and how he all no, there's no
But
fucking
yeah,
way lifting the
he was
weight he
eating
was
10 times a
lifting,
day. He was
and
eating
then
10 times a day and juicing at the same
yeah,
time.
and then another one did something, and it's like no wonder his heart had issues was Triple H. That's why
Yeah,
he's
Yeah,
got the heart issues as he was doing shit. He went from
yeah.
being a normal sized dude to he got injured and came back this fucking huge dude.
Ripped. Yes,
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And it was like you don't
When
do
he
that
was
when
when he was
but
Hunter
it's
Hearst,
but
small,
but
very
especially when
small.
you're older than I am. I mean, Brock Lesnar, I believe, is older than me. And you
By a
don't
couple years, I
you
think he's
don't get
50
bigger.
or 51.
You don't get bigger as you get older.
No, you
yeah.
get
Yeah, he's
smaller.
the same age as me, actually. Actually, he's
Oh,
what,
wow.
2 months older than me. He
I
was
thought he
born
was
in
in his
July of
50s.
'77. But,
Wow.
Jeez.
um, actually, did that say that? No, July 12th. But yeah, but he's still damn near 50.
Yeah,
I couldn't get that big as hard as I would bust my ass and I would never get that big.
yeah.
And
Yeah,
our brother will tell you there's no way you get big like that without doing something. And
yeah.
I'm talking about Aaron. But
And knowing that we're talking about big guys, knowing that somebody lost a lot of size too, know that it's his last year in wrestling is John Cena.
well, yeah, yeah.
And so, what's it called? So pretty
Well,
much
that tells you
this,
too.
Well, it was
this,
a good segue.
yeah, this match was like, what's it called?
It was an
This
homage
was
to
an homage
everybody
to
else.
Homage to
everyone.
everybody Cena's
Like,
ever wrestled.
expect anybody from TNA that AJ wrestled, anybody that John Cena ever wrestled. They literally did. I mean, I wouldn't say like it was a 5-star match or something like Dave
No,
Meltzer
but
would
it's one of
say
the
or
better
No,
whatever,
but
but
ones
it
I've
was one
seen
of the
it
better
was
with
a
ones
very
John
just
Cena
good
because,
in it.
attempt at a
yeah,
farewell.
Yeah.
yeah, it's just like he's just trying to. He's got 5 day or 4 dates left now, I think, after this one. So like, what else can he do? He's got to try to like. I'm sure that he can't like wrestle everyone
But you
that he
watch
wanted
this,
to, but then
and
it's like
honestly,
he's doing an homage to everyone that he
but
wasn't able to wrestle.
but
Yeah.
honestly, Josh, this should have been his last one. That they should have done this one as his last one.
Oh,
You
yeah.
think like him
Yeah,
going against AJ and
Absolutely.
doing
yeah,
this shit? Yeah,
Paying
because
tribute to everybody
and
on
you
the way
pay
out, that
tribute to
would have been,
everybody before you
boom,
leave.
a
yeah,
good match.
And just like they did, I mean, what they did was the right path. I just think they kind of did it early because
Yeah.
it's like now he's got 4 dates left, and it's like, what do you do to outdo this? I mean,
Yeah.
we've talked about the rumors that Gunther will be
Get
his last opponent, but
destroyed.
how's
Get
that gonna even come
destroyed.
up? Because Gunther hasn't
Yeah.
even been on TV. So it's
Yeah.
like, what is he gonna just show up 2 weeks beforehand and go, "Hey, I'm
Probably.
fighting you last, and
He's
I'm gonna take you out." It's like,
his
Yeah.
second
That's
his
pretty much what
second
it's gonna
date
be.
his second date, like, his second to last date, he's gonna come out and be like, "Hey, I'll just retire your ass," and then
yeah, and
that'll
it's
be, like, the whole thing.
but why? I
Yeah.
mean,
But
it's
I
like
don't know.
you've been
Like,
g
yeah.
my point is this is a very bad run-up, in my opinion. That's the one thing that I'm not really digging, is how they're ending it for him.
Yeah.
I said it
No.
before, was that I get the heel turn becoming face when it
Yeah.
did, because going against Cody, see, like, even that, it's
Yeah.
like, technically, his last match should have been Cody taking the title off of him, and they
Yeah.
continued this until his very last match, and
Yeah.
then he flipped face to end his career,
Yeah.
not
Like,
become
do
face
the
with
last
6 months left.
and then
It's
lose
almost
to
like,
Brock Lesnar. Yeah.
well, yeah, and lose to Brock Lesnar and get squashed by him, basically, and then
Yeah.
you you
Yeah.
have this going back
A
and forth
and
with
then you
AJ,
and
and
then
then the
you get
next
beat up by
rumor
John Cena.
is he's gonna face Dominic Mysterio for the Intercontinental belt at Survivor Series, so it's like,
That's the
if they
next
do
alleged
that, is he
date?
gonna win it? Because
Yeah.
and the
I mean,
so
No.
if
Well,
the
because they
rumor is
won't let him
true,
leave with
though.
the belt. They won't let him leave
No,
with the belt.
he would vacate it, dude.
yeah, I think
Yeah.
Mhm.
but
He
that's
would
my
pull his thing and vacate it, like, when he was done.
but I
Like,
mean,
bro
that's the only reason to have him go for the Intercontinental belt with 4
yeah,
dates left is to
because the only one that he doesn't have is that one.
yeah, so that's the only reason for him to do it, is so he wins it before
And
he
then
leaves.
they would say, "Oh, he's truly the greatest of all time," which I don't believe that's true. Like,
Well, I mean, Randy
certain
can actually
wrestlers
take that
more.
over. He's not that far behind him.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, honestly.
But
Yeah.
Yeah, Randy Orton's got 14, I think.
yeah. Well, I mean,
Randy
Anyways,
Orton's one of my
that's the
favorite
thing.
wrestlers.
At one point, somebody's gonna overtake 17 after Cena. It's just
yeah, I mean,
eventually gonna happen.
so
And that's just the nature of the wrestling business. The only difference of why he got so many was that there was such a lull period in WWE where they didn't have anybody, so it was literally going back and forth with
Well,
Randy
he was
Orton.
the face of the company. You
Yeah.
know, Triple H
Well,
and
they didn't
Generation
have
I'm on a
X,
podcast
they
now.
were the heels. I mean, the
well, they
attitude,
didn't
leaving the attitude era, Cena
Anybody
did a
heard, my
lot.
wife came in while we were talking.
yeah.
Oh, tell her to come
That
back in.
No,
no.
I'm not.
Yes,
She's not
I
gonna
mean,
wanna
yes.
be on
she's
camera.
probably not gonna be wanting to be on there, dude. I'm just
She's
telling you
not.
that right now.
When
She's
she heard
just
I
like,
was on a podcast, she shut the door real
Elaine,
yep.
fast.
She's
stop
like, I'm out of
farting in
here.
Jeremy's pillow.
My gosh, I swear.
I
And
had
then
to.
might as well explain that because
Yeah,
if you guys didn't
yeah.
see on the last, I
He's
think it
just
was the
really,
last
hi.
podcast,
No, if
he
you
got
see
a
my
ruptured
eye,
blood vessel or
I
something in
popped a
his
blood
eye.
vessel in it,
Yeah.
so Jeff is making a joke.
He got
Yeah.
poo on his
You guys
eye.
can tell that that's not pink eye. That's literally a popped blood vessel that moved. It looked a lot worse
Yeah. Yeah. It
on the
looked a
last
lot worse
podcast
on
we
the
did,
last one. Yeah.
I was
which it
So,
wiping my
wasn't.
arse.
I don't think it was actually the prediction one. So if you
are
watch
you
the
saying
prediction
something?
one, I'm not even listening to you. But
Aaron
He said that you
said he
choked on
choked
it
on
too
it too
hard.
hard.
I didn't even
Yeah.
hear him say that.
Yeah, I didn't hear him. I thought I heard him yelling back there.
Here's my
That's
your
our
eye.
other brother, Aaron, in the
Yeah.
background, by the way. If you guys could hear him on
Yeah.
the podcast, that will be
Yeah,
the
if you ever
first
hear
appearance
him,
of
well,
Aaron
he's
on
been
the
on our
podcast.
Scream Creeps one.
No, I'm talking about on the wrestling.
No, I'm just saying he's been on our Scream Creeps
Yeah.
one, but you hear
Only
him
brother
quite
that looks like
frequently
he might
streaming in the
actually be a
background.
wrestler.
But anyhow,
Possibly, yeah. But what's it called? So yeah, pretty much. That's why I say it's the match of the night. But it was like mostly because it was just like a regular card. It wasn't like anything stand out.
yeah,
Like, and
I
might I
really
add,
dug the tributes. I mean,
yeah.
Mankind, Undertaker,
Actually,
Orton.
I think Mankind was the only one that he didn't do. He
I
didn't do
mean,
the Mandible
sorry,
Claw.
no,
Bray
Kane.
not
Wyatt.
Mankind.
he did
Kane.
Kane with the choke slam, and then he did
Yeah.
Undertaker pretty much to end it. So
Yeah.
we were speculating on that because we thought it was Undertaker he was doing the tribute with the
But the
choke
way he
slam, but
threw
like
his
I
arm
had
back
talked
over.
about that Undertaker never did it from a laying down position. He always was sitting up when he did it. So, like, if
Yeah.
you remember, Undertaker would do a sit-up thing, and then he'd grab him, and that would typically be how he did his chokeslam. And Kane, for the most part, was always laying down when he would grab them from a laying down position. So that's my speculation, is that I think it was Kane
Yeah.
because he ended up doing the tombstone at the end. I don't know that he would
I
do
mean,
2
it could have
moves,
been both. I mean, like, they both
but I
do
don't think
choke
he would have
Yeah,
done
slams,
I
2
don't think
so
it
moves
would
for
have
the
been
same
two
well, I
person.
moves
mean,
for the same person. Yeah.
no, I get that. I'm just
But
saying, like, he could have
his
been
attempts at the Rey
specifying Big Show
Mysterio,
too, because Big
he
Show did the choke slam too at one point.
Well, yeah, he was gonna do the 619, but it was stopped.
yeah, but it was stopped. I mean, he
But that's
made the
good because
attempts
he
of
probably wouldn't have
everybody.
done it very well.
No,
Well,
no,
well,
his
I mean, he
size.
might have called it on the fly too, because it sounded like they were saying that the crowd was doing 619 chants.
Yeah.
And then it was like
Well,
he was like, "Oh, well, I'll just do this and you'll block and cut me off."
I mean, you could tell that he
Essentially.
was telling him the next move, next move. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, and they always do that, and that's where I was saying that he could only do this match with AJ.
Yeah.
With all of that stuff, it's the perfect
Yeah,
one to do it
even
with
with the old school
because
AJ outfit too, he
yeah,
pulled out his
but
old
AJ
school
also
TNA
announced
stuff.
that he's retiring next year pretty much. So he
Yeah.
said 2026 is his last year. So that's why I'm like, that's probably why they didn't choose to end it with AJ
Mhm.
because AJ would be retiring not too long after.
Yeah.
Right.
But anyways, I was just thinking, I was just calling it off the top of my head, but
Yeah.
the this one was 27 minutes and 10 seconds, which should have
Second
went that long. I
longest,
think
pretty
when
much.
we get to the last one, I think that went too long.
Yeah, I
But
Oh,
agree. But, once again, so pretty much then it's the tag team match where we also, like, we called it where it was, like, up in the air, and I was figuring that it was Kabuki Warriors. I think we both went with Kabuki Warriors,
yeah.
well,
but we
but the
didn't
premise
think
was that
of that she was in
Kyrie,
her
yeah,
hometown either.
yeah, that was the other part we talked about when it first started. We're like, oh, shit, we forgot Rhea Ripley is from Australia. So if we
Yeah.
would have thought about that when we were doing the predictions, it would have been a no-brainer that EO and
Yeah.
Rhea
Yeah,
were
She was
taking it.
yeah.
getting her
It wouldn't
hometown
even
win.
have been a thought
And then
after that.
essentially what happened on Raw was the Kabuki Warriors went over on Rhea and the next night.
Yeah, but
So
also,
it was
if you
funny.
saw, it's the inner workings of what we talked about in the predictions, though, because Asuka slapped Kyrie. So they're
Yeah,
starting that whole exactly.
Mhm.
They just started it a day later.
yeah,
Literally,
yeah,
literally thought that that would happen at this,
yeah.
and it didn't. It just happened a day later. But
Yeah, and this was an okay match. I honestly didn't think that
Yeah.
what's he on? Oh, man,
but
I'm tired
EO,
of like Asuka getting loss after loss. She's like been like a jobber lately.
yeah, but this was again. If we would have thought about where it was at,
Yeah,
we should have known. But EO Sky was concerned. I mentioned it earlier in the podcast that something I think it was the Raw before this.
yeah,
There was an Alabama slam that Kyrie did
yeah,
outside the ring that if you go check out Stevie Richards, he talks about it too on his podcast, but how reckless this move was. But it did an Alabama slam and slammed EO Sky's head against the side apron of the ring. And I'm like, damn. And then she did another one during this match. It just
During
wasn't
this
on the
match.
apron, it was actually in the ring. But
Yeah.
it's like
yeah.
we talked about how bad that move is for people.
Yeah, like people talk about it all the time that it sucks.
So
It's
the
mostly
fact that she
because as
took
soon as
2
they
in 1
slam
week,
them, they usually always end up hitting them on their neck.
that
Like,
chick must
Well,
be a strong woman, because
well,
I can tell you she
like,
takes a lot of bumps that others
yeah,
don't
yeah.
take.
it was funny. I was watching Chris Van Vliet's podcast, like some bits and pieces because she was on it recently, and they were talking about her doing the trash can spots.
Yeah.
She's like, "Yeah, the first one, I was shit." I'm like, I was super scared. And then she was like, "I can't do it. I can't do it." And then she's like, "Oh crap, they're filming me. I can't. I gotta do it." And jumps off. I thought that was so funny. And
Well,
it's so funny
and that's what
because
made
Yeah.
made me a fan of hers, though. I talked about it on the last podcast, I think, was that
Yeah.
I remember I saw that and I saw her match with Penta and Lucha Underground, and those 2 matches made me a huge fan of Eos. And even regards to
Eels.
her talking, she doesn't have to talk. She's just very good at wrestling.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
she has
Her
issues
wrestling
talking,
kind of
but not
speaks.
near and she has some issues with her speech and stuff, but, like, not and, like, she could still talk pretty clearly compared to
Yeah,
it takes her a minute because, like,
and I
if you
and I
check
mentioned it in the
I
last
have
one, Asuka's getting better. I don't know if someone's working with her, like,
yeah,
lately, but Asuka's talking a lot better than she used to.
yeah, so, like, what's it called? I don't know, like,
But there
I
wasn't
w
anything crazy in this match
yeah,
either besides just some of the spots, and it didn't go this was the one match it didn't go even the way that we thought it might.
yeah.
So, if there was anything we didn't predict, it was this match, and honestly, it would have been mainly if we would have thought about
Well,
Rhea Ripley's
we
location.
straight out said that it was like a toss-up. This
Yep,
was, like, one of the only ones we couldn't figure out who was gonna win.
but
So, I
but
mean,
Gosh,
yeah,
what
like,
are
the
we up to?
last
4
match.
matches now?
Yeah,
Well, there was
yeah,
only
we're up
5
to the
matches?
main event
yeah, there
now,
was 5 matches, yeah,
but the tag match went 19 minutes and 55 seconds, so it was the 3rd longest.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um, the longest, was the main event, and I still don't know why they go so long, but this is the one
To pad
that
time, I guess.
well,
I
yeah,
don't
but
know.
I mean, it doesn't you don't need a third this one went 20 minutes 29 minutes and 40 seconds, and there was no other involvement by anyone, so this was
Yeah,
just them. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
we were like, "When is it gonna happen?" There was a spot where the referee got knocked, but that was literally how it ended because Seth used the watch that Cody gave him when he
Yeah.
helped him win the title.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was the reason there was in it. So nobody came to help, which again, when you think about what happened on Raw afterwards, where the Vision basically took out Seth, and supposedly it's because Seth injured his shoulder during this match.
Yeah, from the coast to coast headbutt
Yeah,
that
there
he
was a
does.
coast to coast that he did where he
And I was
landed
like,
on
"What
his
the
shoulder or
hell, dude?"
something,
Yeah,
and that's where he injured it, but I guess he injured it so bad that they took him out. Like, so it's like so but I don't know why they did it. I mean, honestly, I don't get why they that's the part I don't really get, is
well,
I get
especially
people
now
get
that he
hurt.
still has the championship, so I don't understand,
Well, that's
like,
what I mean. I mean,
because they haven't
the
vacated
vid
it.
so he's not gonna be part of the Vision, so that's where people think that this is
He'll
another
have to
work.
defend it
Well,
in the
I
next
mean
90 days.
well,
He has to
I'm
defend it in the next event or next couple
But what I'm saying
pay-per-views,
is this
otherwise he
they're
loses it.
making it seem like remember the last time he got hurt, it was a work. So
yeah,
it's like,
Yeah.
is this another one? But
This is
why?
I
I
feel
mean,
like
what
it's
would the
another work.
payoff be for this to be
yeah,
a work? It just doesn't make sense.
yeah,
That the vision his vision is that Braun would attack him.
yeah,
It just doesn't.
especially how he says,
You know, they're
"It's
working Braun
either
up, though.
him or me," and then Bronson went with Braun, which
Yeah.
Well, they
I
were
could
put
see that
the weird part about it is they've been pointing at this for a
a
while now.
while, yeah,
So, like, if I think about even his speech at Crown Jewel, he said he didn't need anyone.
yeah,
2 weeks
Yeah.
ago, I think on SmackDown, he ran into the ring even though Paul Heyman was telling him not to. So it's
yeah,
Yeah.
like they've been pointing to the division for a couple of weeks already. So it's
yeah,
like the injury, I don't know if it made a difference. I that's why I wonder
yeah,
if the speculation that he's injured is not really real. Like
yeah, I don't,
that
like,
that they
I
just pulled the trigger on
so
this
far
because they
as I
wanted to
think
change
they
what was
yeah,
going on.
yeah,
So, but it's interesting what our predictions are gonna be watching Raw and SmackDown going forward for Survivor Series, because if you guys remember on the last one during our predictions, we were talking about Survivor Series and we thought it would be a Vision-led group against basically a
yeah,
babyface group versus a heel group,
yeah,
but
Mm.
I don't know what that would be now
Who's gonna
because
yeah,
be
because if they have Seth being attacked, is he gonna be a babyface and the Shield a new Shield will be coming?
yeah, I don't know.
Because that's what
I
it
hope
points
not.
to me is that
I hope
Roman
not.
and Seth will be
Yeah.
together.
Yeah,
with a new
Well,
Shield
they
type.
both got screwed over. I mean, it does lead towards
Yeah, but like
another
Roman got screwed
reinvention of
over.
Shield.
But
Yeah.
but that would point to him not working with the Usos. Remember, they started this at the beginning that I don't want
Yeah.
to see you till Christmas. Well, now it may not be Roman with them. It may be Roman with Seth and somebody
Seth.
else and
Cody,
and others.
probably.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, whoa, that could be the new Shield would be Cody, Seth,
Cody,
and Roman.
Seth, and that
Yeah.
would be.
Anyway, but anyhow, but it would be weird coming
I
off
mean,
of a
who else
title
would there
match
be?
here that Seth and Cody would partner together. But
Yeah.
this match was
Well,
way
they
too
shook
long. I
hands.
said it
Didn't they shake
before.
hands at their last event together? I mean,
Nonsense. I don't think since this one.
Well, that's why I said
Because he cheated to win, and then he was like,
literally
"I'm the
he
greatest of
cheated to
all
beat
time."
Cody. Then the
So
next night, Braun turns on him. So it's easy to say that Braun Breaker will be on and Bronson will be on the heel side.
yeah,
And it'll
yeah.
probably be so this points to them being on one side of War Games. But who's on the other side? Because of what Roman told the Usos,
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to be part of it.
yeah,
Because
I
him
question
saying
whether or not
Christmas specifically would tell
I
me
question not whether or
that
not
they're
one of
not.
the Uso brothers. I question whether or not one of the Uso brothers turns heel.
Well, if it is, it'll be Jay.
yeah.
It'll be Jay. Well, just him walking off and being disgruntled and pissed off and
Well,
all
this is
that.
going back to the whole
They've
Roman and
been
him
doing that.
from the
Yeah.
Bloodline days where they didn't
Yeah.
get along. So it's like,
Right.
it's pointing to that, but so he would join Bronson and Braun. And then
Yeah.
Jimmy would be on the other side, so they'd be
I
clashing
mean, they'll
against each
probably
other. I mean,
do
it could
like,
go that way.
if anything, they'll probably do
And then LA Knight would be part of that
and
group.
somebody. Well, I could totally see them turning LA Knight to turn him heel, and him go with Braun and Bronson
Yeah, but CM
at
Punk's out
one
there
point.
too.
Well,
He's not going to want to be
that's
on
the thing.
Seth's
He's
team.
not going to be on. Yeah, that's the thing.
So
That's why I don't think he'll be in the War Games matches Seth's in.
but I think it makes perfect sense that it would be a baby heel versus heel team for the men
Yeah.
and the women.
It usually always is. It's usually
No, but I mean, it's not. At first, it was Vision versus everybody else, right?
Right.
yeah.
Now, Seth's not part of that. So
Yeah.
it's like either he's really hurt and he's not going to be in anything for a while,
Yeah.
or he's going to be part of the face team because he's not going to be
Yeah.
on the Vision team again. That
Yeah.
doesn't make sense.
Well,
But
maybe
anyhow,
that is the case. Maybe it's not gonna be
well, and
Seth,
that's what
but
I'm saying. It points more to that happening, but it just doesn't. It doesn't seem like
Yeah.
he was hurt that bad in the match. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah, because that coast to coast, he still
it
went
happened
like another
earlier
10
on.
minutes. Yeah, he
Yeah.
still went like another 10 or 15
Yeah.
minutes after that.
So
Like,
normally when you're hurt to the point where you can't wrestle for a while,
yeah,
it would be
you're
X.
done.
I
Yeah.
gotta point out, I liked Cody's ring gear this time because he had like a new jacket and new trunks and stuff like that, which
Yeah.
he keeps going with the red, white, and blue theme. I don't know why. I guess he just likes the
Well, that's the
American
nightmare shit.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah. It's been that way since he was in AEW.
Well, I mean, even
Pointing of which, since we're talking about, I know we're not talking, this is not WWE, but we just got notified today about the next Chris Jericho cruise.
yeah.
So
Yeah,
we are
and
literally leaning
Saraya and
towards,
Jeff Hardy are gonna be on it.
yeah. So they announced, the interesting part though is so far no AEW wrestlers are even on the card for the
Yeah.
cruise, which typically they don't announce them till like a month prior because of the arrangements, but normally there's some from AEW that are
Yeah.
part of it. Like I think
Shoot, like
last
the
year,
last few, like
Paul White was part of it,
yeah. And I
and
think Mark
others were
Henry
announced
too.
right off rip that are in AEW right now.
Yeah.
But
Is Mark
this year
Henry
there's
in
nobody.
AEW?
Huh?
I think
Yeah,
he
Big Show's in AEW. He's like a
Yeah.
producer kind of person now. But
What?
he doesn't really wrestle. But so they announced the main headliners was Jeff Hardy, Saraya, and the Great Muta, and then they had a bunch of like Ted DiBiase's gonna be on the
Yeah.
boat.
bunch of old school people pretty much.
Well, yeah, but it was
Yeah.
people. Shotzi Blackheart
Yeah.
have been announced so far. I'd have to look it up, but it was basically I said, okay, Josh, we need to plan on going. It's not till November of next
Yeah,
year.
there's there's way too many things, man. I also want to go to Welcome to Rockville because they just have Lorna Shore. They just okay, so My Chemical Romance and Bring Me the Horizon are on it, and then they just announced that Lorna Shore and a bunch of like deathcore bands are going to be on it too. I'm
Yeah,
like,
but
damn it,
well, I get that, but
like
that's literally
money,
just you drive down
money
to
things.
Daytona.
I know, but money things, man.
No, I get that, but I mean, you can always save it. But yeah, so Dave LaGreca from Pro Wrestling Nation, Bully Ray,
Bully
Nick
Ray.
Nemeth, who you don't know is Dolph Ziggler,
Bully Ray is Bubba Ray Dudley.
from
Yeah, I know.
Bubba Ray Dudley from that's who Bully Ray is.
Yeah, I know.
And then Elena Black,
He's
who is Cora
actually his
Jade, is going to be on the
popularity
boat.
has like him being over there in AEW. I think that was one of the best things for him as
He
far as
was in
popularity.
TNA. He
Yeah,
was
he
in
was in
TNA.
TNA.
He did
Oh,
his
was he?
last tables match with
Yeah,
the Hardys
Oh,
but
Bound for
yeah,
Glory.
Elena Black, if you guys know, was Cora Jade in WWE. She's going to be on the boat. Then of course Brad Williams is a comedian. He's been on the boat like since we were
I
on it.
think they've been doing it since they've been
Yeah,
doing it. It seems
but
like
Ted DiBiase, Carlito, Shotzi Blackheart, Fred Ottman, who was,
Carlito!
Fred Ottman was was it the guy with the shiny stormtrooper helmet? What did they call him?
Shockmaster.
Shockmaster. He'll
Shockmaster,
be on
yeah.
the boat. Buff Bagwell, who it'll be interesting because he got his legs amputated, right?
Well, he
I
got just
think at
one.
least one.
Or
He
one
just
of
got
them.
one. Yeah, he's
So
on a prosthesis now.
but
He's
yeah,
got a
so
metal leg now.
Vampiro,
Vampiro.
the Blue Meanie,
The Blue
AJ
Meanie.
I
Francis,
gotta do the dance.
yeah, AJ Francis, Natalia Markova,
Oh,
Victoria
okay.
Crawford. For people that don't know, where's Alicia Fox in WWE? She's going to be on the boat.
Okay, so that's her TNA name.
Kid
Okay.
Chocolate,
Yeah.
Mo Jabari, Indy Hartwell, Lacey Lane, Casey Catanzaro, Ricky Knight Jr., who's Soraya's brother, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Soraya's brother.
Yeah. Soraya's
And
brother.
then Gabby Laspisa, Sonny Ono, and Chris
Sonny
Van
Ono.
Vliet are all going to be on the boat
Sonny
so
Ono's
far.
still alive?
Yep. And then obviously they'll have musicians, the Iron Maidens, Fozzy, of course, Quarantine. Both of those are
Yeah, and it was very
Guardians of the
fun when we went.
Jukebox. But all the rest of them, there's a bunch of bands that are going to be on the boat.
Yep.
That's pretty
Looks
cool.
like Jeff Hardy's band, Parox Y, because it's him
Oh, okay.
showing on the.
Yeah, that's probably one of the things he's like,
I don't
well,
know.
if I'm on
I'm
it,
not a
I'll
fan of
be
his
playing.
singing. I'm
Well,
not
I
a fan
mean,
of his singing at
a
all.
couple of his theme songs that he had for his TNA career, like I think he did the one for when he was Willow wasn't bad, and then the other one that he had for when he was the heel Jeff Hardy, I think, was like
Personally,
I like
I feel
those
like
But
songs.
when I
the
But
listen to his
podcast,
music, it
so
reminds me of like an 80s style rock band that cannot sing. That's
Talk is Jericho obviously will be a live podcast on the cruise, and then Soraya's podcast, Rule
yeah,
Breakers, will
that
be
would be
live.
cool.
that would
So
be cool.
So yeah, it's a big time. I'm very much planning to go to this one, even though it's a month before we have another special event planned. But that's at Josh's neck of the woods in December. But for our parents, I'll just say that. Anyhow, but
Yeah,
yeah, I think that's all we've got to talk about for Crown Jewel. The next one will be AEW's. I think we said Full Gear
Full
happens
Gear,
before
yeah.
Survivor Series, so that'll be the next one we do predictions for.
And probably Survivor Series is gonna be excellent. I hope so,
Because
at
we're not going to
least,
cover
because
Wrestle Dream. That's not a main AEW
yeah,
pay-per-view. So we don't
Yeah.
cover every AEW event anymore
just
because it's
because it's
$40 a freaking event.
expensive. It's buying the shit. I don't have the money for
We plan
that
on
shit.
covering all the main ones, and we'll talk about the event when we actually do the podcast that we didn't watch. Like
Yeah.
we'll talk about the results and the events going into the new one, but that'll come into the prediction podcast now.
Yep.
But other than that, the next one we'll talk about is Full Gear. So the next one you'll see is the week of November 22nd will be the next wrestling podcast you'll see. But in the meantime, you guys can check out our other podcasts. So Scream Creeps, we're in the middle of actually recording our 31 Days of Halloween series, so you'll see 31 different podcasts for the month of October. We're a little behind, but we're gonna record all of them, where we have a theme for each day of movies we're gonna cover. So, the one coming up here shortly will be Fright Night. You'll see that one releasing soon,
When are you guys doing Monster Squad?
when we throw it in there.
Sometime
It's not one on the list
eventually.
necessarily, but
Yeah.
we'll cover that one at some point. But
The Wolfman's got nards. Sorry,
yeah,
good.
we'll be we just recently released
This Wolfman's got balls.
our last sci-fi podcast, so
Whenever.
we covered Killer Clowns from Outer Space, I think.
That's a good
Joe.
one.
Yeah.
That's actually my next tattoo.
Okay.
I'm
And
getting
then
Slim, Fatso, Stretch, whatever their names
then
are. I can't remember all of
Joe,
them.
I think he was planning on doing another horror-related sci-fi episode. It was some can't remember the name of the movie he was talking
Yeah,
about. He
he put
wanted to
it
cover on it, but it was some low
yeah.
budget thing. But
Yeah.
that'll be the next one, and then we're gonna start our true crime podcast up again, where we talk about The Unknown Number for anybody that's seen that on Netflix. So, but for all of you guys watching here on YouTube, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Wrestling with the Willeys, and if you haven't liked and subscribed to our channel yet, we would love to have you guys there. But if you guys are listening on your favorite audio platform and you haven't subscribed there either, we would love to have you there as well. Like I said, this will be more on the button of covering these on a monthly basis. Sometimes it'll be two in a month, depending upon when those AEW main events or pay-per-views are occurring. But we'll have at least one a month for all the WWE PLEs. But for all of us here at the Heart of Geek, I hope you guys, for Jeremy, Jeff, and Josh, I'll let Josh end it since he's the host. But
I
Well, I
appreciate you guys,
guess.
even though I've had the bubonic plague for the last 7 days and been hacking up
Well,
hell.
you with the black shirt kind of like it shows extra right there. Oh, literal black plague, but what's it called? But thank you for listening and watching and doing all the jive and stuff like that. And we'll
All
talk
that
to you guys
jive.
in the yeah, all that jive shit, man.
All that
But
jive.
we'll talk.
You jive,
To you
turkey.
guys in the. We'll talk to you guys in the next podcast. Peace.
all right, see ya.